On November 5th, the Virtual Telescope Project released 2 new images of the interstellar object 3I Atlas, and what they revealed has left the scientific community even more confused. The images reveal Atlas as a compact source of light without any obvious commentary. Even more surprising, the object's appearance has barely changed since the Hubble Space Telescope's observations in July 2025 for an object that should have lost at least 13% of his total mass of more than 55 billion tons of matter. The absence of such a large and obvious glow is inexplicable. According to calculations by Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb to put things in perspective, similar images have also captured Comet Lemon, a common comet in the solar system. Lemon shows exactly what we'd expect: a bright transparent tail pointing away from the sun, formed by solar radiation pressure pushing gas and dust into space. Atlas, on the other hand, remains mysteriously clean, with none of the visual signs that accompany the massive loss of material needed to account for its anti-gravity acceleration. According to Loeb, this is just thelatist evidence that Atlas is unlike any other natural object we know of. And this leads us to a fundamental question that science needs to take seriously. So there has been a lot of misinformation and confusion about Atlas and its acceleration. In this video, we analyze the actual data and find out if this really indicates something extraordinary as observing our solar system. On October 29, as it approached its closest point to the Sun, the celestial body Atlas suddenly accelerated in a strange way beyond all normal gravitational laws. A report from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL, said that Atlas's actual position had deviated from its predicted orbit by 4 arcsec, a number that seems small, but at a distance of 203 million kilometers from the Sun, this is a huge error that surprised scientists. Atlas is accelerating at a rate of 0.2 millimeters per square, which is equivalent to being pushed out of its orbit by more than 80 kilometers in just 1 month. The data show that this acceleration is in 2 directions: an outward push away from the Sun at a rate of 135 km per square day, about 60 km per month, and a sideways push at 60 km per square day, 270 km per month. In other words, Atlas is drifting in 2 directions at once, being pushed out in sideways before raising concerns. NASA insisted Atlas was not hurtling toward Earth. This lopsided orbit poses no threat to any planet except that it could approach Jupiter in March 2026, a date that astronomers are keeping a close eye on. But what's actually accelerating Atlas? Imagine you throw a ball and gravity pulls it along a perfectly predictable curve. But if some invisible force fires tiny motors at it, that trajectory changes. That's exactly what's happening. Atlas is no longer obeying the rules of pure gravity, but something else is acting on it. With comets, the most likely explanation is outgassing. When ice on the surface melts due to its proximity to the Sun, turns into steam and is expelled like a jet engine. But what has puzzled researchers is the amount of gas required to create this acceleration is absurdly large, far beyond what a normal comet would release. Could something else, an unknown mechanism, or even a mysterious artificial factor, be manipulating Atlas's motion? This remains a mystery that has sparked dramatic theories in the scientific community. This is where things get really interesting. Harvard astronomer Avi Loeb has done some basic physics calculations, which show that if you know the acceleration and mass of the object, you can deduce how much gas would need to be expelled to create thrust. Atlas weighs at least 33 billion tons, making it much larger than the first 2 interstellar objects ever discovered, and between 1,000 and 1,000,000 times heavier than either Oumuamua or Borisov. Its core is estimated to be about 3 Sankacross, or nearly 6 kilometers. Given that mass and acceleration, the calculations come to a remarkable conclusion. To generate thrust by natural outgassing, Atlas would have to lose at least 1/6 of its mass during the month around perihelion, or at least 5 billion tons of gas. This gas would form a huge, extremely bright cloud around the object, almost impossible to miss with our lenses. From late November 2025 to late January, dozens of ground-based telescopes, along with the Hubble Space Telescope and the James Webb Space Telescope, will be watching Atlas. On December 19th, it will make its closest approach to Earth at a distance of 167 million miles. If the giant gas cloud really exists, we will see it. If not, the scientific debate will rage without the observation of a cloud that corresponds to the gas required for acceleration, the natural explanation will fail, and the possibility of acceleration from another source, perhaps, even technological, will have to be seriously considered. There are precedents for this scenario. Oumuamua, the first interstellar object, also exhibited anti-gravity acceleration, but no outgassing. Even the extremely sensitive Spitzer Space Telescope detected no signs of outgassing. In the end, researchers had to call it a dark comet, a paradox since the hallmark of a comet is its outgassing. Atlas was even more bizarre, exhibiting two additional behaviors that are difficult to reconcile with natural models. The first was brightness. As it approached the Sun, Atlas brightened at a power of -7 Wu, whereas comets typically brighten in the range of 2 to -3, meaning Atlas increased in brightness twice as fast as expected, an unprecedented phenomenon. The second was color. Atlas was blue, bluer than the Sun at its closest approach. This is extremely strange because natural dust usually reigns the spectrum rather than blues, and the surface of Atlas is expected to be about 20 times colder than the surface of the Sun, and cold surfaces glow red, not blue. Some natural explanations are still possible, such as direct emission of ionized gases like carbon dioxide. It is important to emphasize that the argument is not about Atlas being definitively technologically extraterrestrial. This is a test of scientific methodology, where when data doesn't fit theory, you can't ignore the data. You have to explore all possible solutions, even the most unpalatable ones. Some scientists argue that the data must be wrong because they can't explain it. Dr. Avi Loeb responds that that's bad science. You can't dismiss data just because there's no theory that fits it. And if the gas cloud doesn't appear as predicted, the big question of what's pushing Atlas will only spur more daring theories. Atlas is now considered one of the strangest and most inexplicable celestial bodies ever observed in the solar system, not only because of its unusual events, but also because of the profound implications they bring, challenging the entire foundation of current understanding of physics. Unlike any object ever recorded, Atlas exhibits a series of irrational phenomena that have scientists questioning its origin. The first anomaly is called the impossible path. Atlas travels on an orbit that is tilted just 5 degrees to the ecliptic plane, the plane in which all planets orbit the Sun in 3 dimensions. An object from another star system could come from any direction, but Atlas appears almost perfectly parallel to the plane of the planet's orbit. The chance of this happening by chance is just 0. Binjarah, the equivalent of hitting a small target in the dark. Astronomers believe that an object from interstellar space would make a random approach almost impossible to parallel with the plane in which the planets orbit the Sun. Some new theories suggest that this incredibly precise orbit could be the result of purposeful navigation, or at least be influenced by one-oriented artificial resources, not simply random orbits due to gravity. This kind of anomaly is called the physics-defying jet. In July and August 2025, Atlas unexpectedly produced a jet-off material that shot straight toward the Sun, the exact opposite of all known comets, which always have tails pointing away from the Sun due to solar radiation pressure. This behavior is contrary to basic physics, like someone running with their hair flying forward. The third anomaly is its size and speed. Atlas is 1,000,000 times more massive than Oumuamua and 1,000 times more massive than Borisov. Yet it is still moving faster. In astrophysics, larger objects tend to move more slowly when held by the gravity of their parent star system. But Atlas breaks this rule completely. Under normal physical conditions, all comets create tails that point away from the Sun, as radiation pressure and solar wind push material away. Atlas's backspin is unprecedented. Some plasma physicists believe that this phenomenon could indicate the existence of an artificial magnetic field for plasma-driven propulsion mechanism, similar to ion propulsion, technology that humans have only tested on a small scale. The fourth anomaly is perfect timing. In celestial mechanics, massive objects typically move more slowly due to the gravity of their parent star system. It is paradoxical that a celestial body with a mass of tens of billions of tons can achieve a higher speed than small comets. Some hypotheses predict that Atlas may be using antimatter propulsion or directed photon energy, allowing it to overcome the natural dynamics that exist only in theoretical advanced energy models. Atlas coincidentally passed by Mars, Venus and Jupiter, but avoided Earth during perihelion, the moment when it should be at its brightest and easiest to see. Theistiming is rarer than winning the lottery, leading many researchers to suspect that it is more than a mere coincidence. The fifth anomaly reveals something suspicious about the factory component. This coincidence made many experts suspect that Atlas did not move randomly, but seemed to have pre-calculated, route like a probe that chooses a flight path to collect data about large planets while avoiding direct contact with Earth. Some astronomers have even hypothesized that Atlas may record a map of the gravitational or electromagnetic fields of the solar system for the purpose of technological exploration. Spectroscopic analysis showed that Atlas contained more nickel than iron, a ratio common in man-made alloys. Natural comets typically have a random mix of metals and minerals, but Atlas has a finely tuned metallic structure that appears purposefully manufactured. The sixth anomaly is the absurdly dry property on Earth. This ratio is common in high-temperature alloys such as incanal or pneumonic used in jet engines and spacecraft. This similarity raises suspicions that the material that makes up Atlas may have once been processing or refining rather than forming randomly in space. Another hypothesis suggests that it could be remnants of a destroyed technological structure like the outer shell of an ancient spacecraft. Comets are often described as dirty snowballs, with 80–90% of their mass being waterous. Atlas has only 4% water drier than the harshest deserts on Earth. This has led many experts to question whether it is actually a natural comet. The seventh anomaly involves polarized light. Infrared spectral analysis has found no signs of water vapor despite Atlas's close approach to the Sun. Some scientists have suggested that its surface may be covered in refractory ceramic or composite layer prevent evaporation. If confirmed, this could prove that Atlas possesses an artificial shell, a feature never before seen in any natural comet. Atlas emits a polarization pattern never before recorded in any natural object. Polarizationis, the fingerprint of light, and Atlas's pattern does not match any other comet ever observed, including Borisov, a sign that its surface or structure is completely different. The eighth anomaly connects Atlas to one of the greatest mysteries in human history. The WOW signal discovered in 1977. Both came from the same direction in space, almost the same cosmic coordinates, making the hypothesis of a connection between them attractive. The probability of this coincidence is extremely low, but too precise to ignore. In-depth analysis shows that the polarization pattern is similar to light reflected from a metal surface or flat structure, with a defined angle of reflection, unlike the rough surfaces of natural celestial bodies. Some experts hypothesize that Atlas may possess reflective panels, solar panels, or symmetrical geometric structures similar to artificial materials. And the ninth anomaly is perhaps the strangest. Atlas appears to be hotter than the Sun. His brilliant blue hue suggests it is emitting energy at temperature exceeding 5800 Kelvin, the temperature of the surface of the Sun. It is simply impossible for a non-stellar object to reach such energy levels, barring some form of advanced technology unknown to humanity. Both events occurred near the constellation Sagittarius. Atlas's arrival path matches exactly the region of space where the WOW signal was recorded. Some SETI researchers believe Atlas could relate to the origin of that signal, or even is an intermediate object that transmits signals operating in cycles of decades like a cosmic relay station. If all of the above anomalies are confirmed, Atlas III will no longer be a comet, but a first experimental evidence of interstellar technology. Maybe this is autonomous probe launched by an ancient civilization. Millions of years ago, orbital monitoring equipment are regathering data about the solar system. All theories are on the table, and December 19 may be the day humanity finds out for sure whether Atlas is a comet or the first message from another intelligence in the universe. All these anomalies are making Atlas the center of scientific debate. Is it an unusual comet, a remnant of ancient technology, or even a man-made object sent by another civilization? The answer remains murky, but each new piece of data gleaned from Atlas adds to the intriguing and evocative picture. The physics is clear. A huge acceleration requires a corresponding loss of mass. If Atlas really accelerated at the rate we observe, that huge mass would have to be released in the form of a giant gas cloud. And without such a cloud, There's only one explanation that fits the data that Atlas is not a natural comet. As Atlas approaches on December 19th, when it will make its closest approach to Earth, hundreds of telescopes around the world from ground-based to orbital will be trained on it. Scientists will be looking for evidence of the 5.5 billion tons of gas that would have been lost if outgassing had caused the acceleration. But if there's no sign of that gas, the whole cometary comet theory will fall apart. What we're seeing could then be direct evidence of a technology that does not belong to Earth, a propulsion system that operates outside all known laws of physics, something that might be moving with purpose. The countdown to discovery is considered of historical importance to mankind has officially begun. In the coming weeks, we will know whether humanity is truly alone in the universe or is currently witnessing the first confirmed visitor from the stars. If Atlas is not a comet, but a work of another intelligence, then the moment of December 19th could become the greatest turning point in the history of space exploration, when man not only looked up at the sky for the first time, but also realized that he was being looked back at. The scariest thing is not what we see, but what we don't. Atlas has not shown us. Some scientists speculate that Atlas may be concealing a sophisticated observation or communication mechanism operating only in frequency bands that humans cannot detect. It is also hypothesized that it does not move randomly, but scans the entire solar system on a set schedule, possibly to search for life or test human technological progress. In underground science forums, a shocking theory called mirror galaxy effect is spreading. Accordingly, every time a civilization reaches the nuclear power threshold, an observation device will be activated from interstellar space to assess the threat level of that civilization to the universe. Atlas, according to some, may be that device. A silent gatekeeper is watching us. More daring predictions suggest that by December 19th, when Atlas is at its closest point to Earth, a synchronization signal can be emitted not for us, but for somewhere else. Was it confirmation that Earth had been discovered? Or was it just another step in an ancient civilization's millennial-long exploration plan? For now, no one knows for sure. Atlas remains silent, hurtling through the void at an inexplicable rate of acceleration. But if the theory of an interstellar technology is correct, then we look up at the sky each night, not just to observe a distant celestial body, but is being watched by another gaze from the depths of the universe. And maybe this time we are the subjects of research. If you want to follow this story as it unfolds, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications for this channel. I'll be making follow-up videos as new data becomes available, especially after perihelion, when we'll get a better look at the state of 3I Atlas after its close encounter with the Sun. Leave a comment below, and let me know what you think we'll learn about this interstellar visitor. Will it survive perihelion intact, or are we about to witness a fragmentation event? I've read all the comments and I'm really curious what you think.